This morning we find Dr. Bera at work in Washington, D.C., but we have you via satellite. Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
Good morning, Paul. Glad to be here.
Thank you. We want to talk about this coalition of, according to what we read, both Democrats and Republicans, both houses of Congress, called No Labels, and I know you're a part, and tell us what that means.
You know, 50 of us got together this morning, really just sending a message to Washington, D.C. and to the American public that there's Democrats and Republicans ready to work together. We've got to open up government again. We always pay our bills as Americans. And then let's sit down and negotiate a real budget so we stop going from one crisis to the next. That's what we've got to do. And that was the message this morning of over 50 Democrats and Republicans. Enough's enough. Let's start working together.
You know, I mean, everybody's rooting for you to pull that off. And, of course, people have different fundamental beliefs, and that's why we divide. I'm looking at your information. I want to go over some of the stuff you're talking about as members of No Labels. No budget, no pay for members of Congress. We don't have a budget. You're in favor of a 2-year budgeting process, which makes so much sense. Don't duplicate, consolidate, you know, when various branches of government are all providing the same service. Why don't we consolidate? All those sound like things that nobody should disagree with. Why haven't we already done this stuff?
Look, this is Washington, D.C., a town that seems to be broken right now. Let's get back to some common sense. The way divided government works, Democrats and Republicans have to start listening to one another, have to start finding common ground, and have to start moving forward. That's why it's simple things like no budget, no pay. If we don't do our job, you know, why should we get paid? So, and part of our job is getting a real budget put together. So again, let's open up government, let's pay our bills, and then let's start negotiating and putting a real budget together.
Later this morning, we'll be chatting with one of your fellow Congressman Tom McClintock. Now, do you know if he's signed off on this effort?
Well, Tom may see things slightly differently than I do. He's not a member of the problem solvers here at No Labels. We'd love to welcome him in, and it's okay if we have different perspectives. The thing is, in divided government, you have to learn to listen to one another. You're not going to always get everything that you want. You've got to take the best ideas out of both parties and really build off of that and move forward.
Well, and again, we're all hoping for a kumbaya moment for you guys today. But I do want to get back to, if Congressman McClintock is not going to agree with you, what's fundamental, what's underlying your two positions that would make you two not come together?
Yeah, the first thing, as I see, government does have a role in growing our economy, in helping create jobs. That's first and foremost what we should be doing right now. And core to that is actually putting a budget together. Now, Tom may have different budget ideas, I may have different budget ideas, but the fact is, in divided government, you've got to listen to both of us. It can't be my way or the highway. You've got to be able to negotiate, take the best ideas out of both parties and move forward. I think we've got to address the cost of health care, and I think you know, as a doctor, this has to be about how best we take care of our patients and make health care affordable for Americans. So, you know, Tom and I may have slightly different ideas on something like that. I think, you know, if we're not doing our job, we shouldn't get paid. Tom and I have different ideas about that.
Okay, yeah, you know, we do. It's interesting. Again, we're rooting for you. We have leadership on both sides saying my way or the highway, and we'll see where it all comes down. Dr. Bera, it is always nice to talk to you. Thanks for making a little time for us this morning.
Thanks.